I stood on that stage, diploma in hand, scanning the crowd for familiar faces. My heart was pounding. This was supposed to be my moment. 4 years of sleepless nights. 4 years of working 3 part-time jobs while maintaining a 3.9 GPA. 4 years of proving I was more than what they said I was. And then I saw them. My mother, my father, my older brother Marcus and his wife Jennifer. They were there. They actually came. But they weren't looking at me. Marcus was on his phone. Jennifer was fixing her makeup. Mom was whispering something to Dad, and he was nodding, looking bored. I waved. Nothing. I waved again, bigger this time, almost losing my balance in these stupid heels. Marcus glanced up for half a second, then back to his screen. My throat tightened. The dean called my name. Sarah Mitchell, Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering, summa cum laude. I walked across that stage with tears I refused to let fall. Afterwards, I found them in the parking lot. They were already heading to their car. "Hey, you guys leaving already?" I called out, jogging toward them in my gown. Mom turned, surprised, like she'd forgotten I existed. "Oh, Sarah, yes, we have dinner reservations at 6. Your brother's treating us. But I thought we could celebrate together? Maybe grab something nearby?" Jennifer laughed. Actually laughed. "Sarah, we drove 3 hours for this. We're tired. Besides, Marcus made reservations weeks ago." "Weeks ago," I repeated slowly. "You knew about my graduation for months." Marcus finally looked up from his phone. "Look, we came, didn't we? What more do you want? A parade?" Something inside me cracked. "I want you to care," I whispered. Dad sighed. That disappointed sigh I'd heard my entire life. "Sarah, don't be dramatic. We're here, aren't we? Some people don't even get that. You promised you'd take me to dinner. You promised this would be my day." The silence that followed was deafening. Mom looked around nervously, checking if anyone heard me. "Lower your voice. You're making a scene." "Making a scene? I graduated top of my class, Mom." "Top of my class. And you can't even stay for an hour?" Marcus stepped forward, his voice cold. "You know what your problem is, Sarah? You always need so much attention. Graduation is just a piece of paper. Get over yourself." Jennifer nodded along like a bobblehead. "Honestly, we're doing you a favor by teaching you some independence." I stood there, frozen, as they got into their car. Mom rolled down the window. "Oh, and Sarah? The parking ticket we got while watching the ceremony? That's on you. It was $85. Venmo me when you can." They drove away. I stood in that parking lot in my graduation gown, watching their car disappear. My phone buzzed. Venmo request from Mom. $85. Parking, your graduation. Then another notification. Marcus, $200. Gas money plus tolls for coming to your thing. Then Jennifer, 150 kreutzers. Missed work for this. Then Dad, 250 Zorozer. Hotel last night since ceremony was so early. I stared at my phone screen, my hands shaking. In 10 minutes, my family had sent me bills totaling 685s for attending my graduation. The graduation where I'd been awarded top honors, where I'd given a speech about overcoming adversity, where I'd thanked my family in front of 2,000 people. I sat down on the curb, still in my gown, and started laughing. Not happy laughter. The kind that comes when you've finally, truly understood how little you matter to the people who were supposed to love you most. A text from Marcus. Also, remember you still owe us for that loan we gave you freshman year. $5,000. Time to pay up now that you're graduated. You have 30 days. I remembered that loan. I'd begged them not to call it that. "It's for school, for books and fees," I'd cried. "Then pay it back when you're done," Marcus had said. So casual, so certain. I never thought he was serious. But here it was, in writing. $5,000, 30 days. I looked at my bank account, $394.26. I looked at my student loan balance, $87,000. I looked at my future, and for the first time in 4 years, I felt completely, utterly alone. My phone rang. Unknown number? I almost didn't answer. But something made me swipe. "Hello?" My voice cracked. "Miss Sarah Mitchell?" A woman's voice, professional, warm. Yes, that's me. This is Dr. Rebecca Chen from the National Biomedical Engineering Foundation. I'm calling about your research submission from last semester. My heart stopped. 6 months ago, my professor had encouraged me to submit my senior thesis to a national competition. Something about innovative approaches to affordable prosthetics using 3D printed materials. I'd completely forgotten about it. Life had been too chaotic, too exhausting. Yes, my submission. Did I do something wrong with the paperwork? Dr. Chen laughed softly. Wrong? Ms. Mitchell, quite the opposite. Your work was extraordinary. We had over 2,000 submissions this year from students across the country. Your research on cost-effective prosthetic joints was not only innovative, but immediately applicable. I stood up from the curb, my legs shaking. Thank you, that's really kind of you to say. I'm not calling to be kind, Ms. Mitchell. I'm calling to inform you that you've been selected as one of our top 10 finalists. The parking lot spun. Finalists? Yes, there's a gala in 2 weeks in New York City. All 10 finalists will present their research to our board of directors, investors, and industry leaders. It's a significant opportunity for networking and exposure. I tried to process this. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm honored. There's more, Dr. Chen continued. All finalists receive a $2,000 stipend to cover travel and accommodation. And the winner receives a $50,000 grant for continued research, or to put toward student loans. $50,000. I couldn't breathe. Ms. Mitchell, are you still there? Yes, I'm here. I'm just processing. I understand it's a lot. You'll receive an email within the hour with all the details. Congratulations, Sarah. Your work stood out for a reason. We'll see you in New York. She hung up. I stood in that parking lot, phone in hand, tears streaming down my face. This time they weren't tears of humiliation. For the first time in years, something good was happening. Something that was mine. Something they couldn't take from me or diminish or turn into a bill. I looked at my graduation gown, wrinkled and dirty from sitting on the curb. Then I looked at my phone, at those Venmo requests still glowing on the screen. $685 they wanted from me for showing up. $5,000 Marcus wanted within 30 days. And now, maybe, just maybe, a chance at $50,000. I opened my group chat with my family, the one where we were supposed to coordinate graduation plans. The last message was from me 3 days ago. So excited to see you all Saturday. Ceremony starts at 10 a.m. Love you. 0 responses. I typed, made it to the finals of a national research competition. Presenting in NYC in 2 weeks. Top prize is $50K. I hesitated, my thumb hovering over send. Then I deleted it. They didn't deserve to know. Instead, I screenshotted all their Venmo requests and saved them to a folder on my phone labeled, Remember This. I called my roommate, Amy. She answered on the first ring. Sarah, how was it? Did they cry? Was your mom sobbing with pride? Amy, they left before I could even take a picture with them. Silence. They what? They left. And then sent me bills. Almost $700 for attending. And Marcus wants the $5,000 back that he loaned me freshman year. That wasn't a loan. He said it was a gift. I was there when he said it. I know. Amy's voice turned fierce. Sarah Mitchell, you listen to me right now. You are brilliant. You are kind. You are worth more than their entire family combined. And if they can't see that, screw them. I made finals for that research grant, I said quietly. Amy screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. What? The one Dr. Patterson made you submit to? Sarah, oh my God. $50,000, Amy, if I win. When you win, she corrected. When, not if. Have you met you? You're amazing. I smiled for the first time that day. The gala is in 2 weeks. New York City, all expenses paid. We're going shopping, Amy declared. You're going to walk into that gala looking like the genius you are. And you're going to win that money, pay off Marcus just to watch his face, and then never speak to any of them again. Amy, I'm serious, Sarah. They don't deserve you. They never have. We talked for another 20 minutes. She made me laugh. She made me feel human again. When I hung up, I looked at my RI Studeflexion in a car window. still wearing my graduation gown. Mascara smudged. Hair a mess. But something in my eyes had changed. I wasn't that little girl anymore, desperate for their approval, willing to shrink myself to fit their expectations. I was Sarah Mitchell, summa cum laude, top 10 finalist in a national competition, researcher, engineer, survivor. And in 2 weeks, I was going to prove to myself, not them, myself, that I was worth so much more than they'd ever believed. My phone buzzed again. Marcus, did you get my Venmo request? Don't ignore this, Sarah. I'm serious about the 30 days. I looked at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, I'll have your money soon. Don't worry. He responded immediately. Good. About time you took some responsibility. I smiled. He had no idea what was coming. 2 weeks felt like 2 years. I threw myself into preparing for the presentation. Every free moment was spent refining my research, practicing my speech, anticipating questions. Amy helped me pick out an outfit. A navy blue suit that made me look professional but not stuffy. Confident but not arrogant. You look like you're about to change the world, she said, adjusting my collar. I'm just trying to win enough money to get my family off my back. No. Amy grabbed my shoulders, forcing me to look at her. You're doing this for you, not for them. Say it. Amy, say it, Sarah. I'm doing this for me. Again. I'm doing this for me. She smiled. Better. Now go win that money and make them choke on their regret. The flight to New York was surreal. I'd never flown first class before. The foundation had upgraded all the finalists. I kept waiting for someone to tell me there'd been a mistake, that I didn't belong there. But the flight attendant brought me champagne and called me Ms. Mitchell with genuine respect. I could get used to this. The hotel was in Manhattan, overlooking Central Park. My room was bigger than my entire college apartment. I stood at the window, looking out at the city lights, and allowed myself one moment of pure gratitude. Then my phone rang. Mom. I stared at her name on the screen. She hadn't called since graduation. Hadn't texted. Hadn't acknowledged my existence. I answered. Hello? Sarah, finally. I've been trying to reach you for days. That was a lie. I checked. 0 missed calls from her. I've been busy, Mom. What's up? Marcus told me about the money you owe him. Sarah, you can't just ignore family obligations like this. He has bills to pay. Jennifer wants to renovate their kitchen. Of course. This was about Marcus. I told him I'd pay him back. I have time. He says you've been avoiding his calls. I had been. Every time Marcus called, it was to remind me of the deadline, to guilt me, to make me feel small. Mom, I'm in New York right now. For something important. Can we talk about this later? New York? What are you doing in New York? Sarah, you can't afford to be gallivanting around the country when you owe your brother money. Gallivanting? Like I was on vacation? Like this wasn't the most important opportunity of my life. I'm here for a research competition, Mom. A really big one. Silence. Then, research competition? Sarah, when are you going to get a real job? You've been in school forever. It's time to grow up and start earning actual money. Something inside me snapped. I graduated 2 weeks ago, Mom, with highest honors, and I'm here competing for a $50,000 grant. More silence. 50,000? Her voice changed. Interested now. That's quite a lot of money. Yes, it is. Well, if you win, and that's a big if, Sarah, don't get your hopes up, you could pay Marcus back immediately. And maybe help your father and me with some of our expenses. We've been struggling lately. I closed my eyes. There it was. Not I'm proud of you, not good luck, not even congratulations on making it this far. Just, what can you give us? I have to go, Mom. The orientation dinner starts in an hour. Wait, Sarah, about Marcus's money. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I looked at myself in the mirror. Navy suit, hair pulled back, minimal makeup. I looked professional, capable, strong. But inside, I was still that little girl, desperate for her mother to say she was proud. I shook my head, grabbed my portfolio, and headed downstairs. The ballroom was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, round tables with white linens, and everywhere, smart, accomplished people networking and laughing. I felt out of place immediately. Sarah Mitchell? I turned. A tall man in his 50s, gray hair, kind eyes. I'm Dr. James Harrison, one of the judges. I've been dying to meet you. Me? Why? He laughed. Your research on affordable prosthetics is brilliant. The design modifications you proposed could reduce production costs by 60% without sacrificing quality. Do you understand how revolutionary that is? I felt my cheeks heat. Thank you, Dr. Harrison. That means a lot coming from you. Call me James, and I mean it. You're one of the favorites to win tomorrow. One of the favorites. My heart raced. We talked for 20 minutes. He introduced me to other judges, to investors, to researchers from companies I'd only dreamed of working for. Everyone was impressed. Everyone wanted to know more. For the first time in my life, I felt seen. Really seen, not as the disappointment daughter or the burden little sister. As Sarah Mitchell, engineer, researcher, innovator. Dinner was served. I sat with the other finalists. They were all brilliant. Some from Ivy League schools. Some with published papers already. But I'd earned my place here. The woman next to me, Lauren, a finalist from MIT, leaned over. Your family must be so proud. My parents flew in from California just to watch tomorrow. My smile faltered. That's really nice. Are your parents here? No, they couldn't make it. Couldn't. Not wouldn't. Couldn't sounded better, less painful. Oh, that's too bad. But they must be so excited for you. I nodded, not trusting my voice. Lauren kept talking, oblivious. My mom cried when I told her I made finals. She called everyone we know. I was so embarrassed. I excused myself to the bathroom. Inside the stall, I let myself feel it. The grief, the anger, the bone-deep loneliness of achieving something incredible and having no one who truly cared. My phone buzzed. Marcus. Mom said you're in New York. Better not be wasting money on trips when you owe me. Clock's ticking, Sarah. 16 days left. I stared at the message. Then I typed, "Watch me," and deleted it. Instead, I washed my face, reapplied my lipstick, and walked back into that ballroom with my head high. Tomorrow I would present my research. Tomorrow I would show them all what I was capable of. And when I won, not if, when everything would change. The morning of the presentation, I woke up at 5 a.m. Couldn't sleep. Too much adrenaline, too much anxiety, too much everything. I practiced my speech in the mirror 40 times. Adjusted my slides 50 times. Changed my outfit 3 times before settling on the navy suit again. At 8 a.m., my phone started buzzing. Amy, you've got this. Call me after. I'm manifesting that 50K for you. My professor, Dr. Patterson. Sarah, remember, you earned this spot. Trust your research. Trust yourself. And then, unexpectedly, a text from an unknown number. Sarah, this is your Uncle Robert. Your mom mentioned you're competing today. I always knew you were special. Good luck, kiddo. Uncle Robert. Dad's brother. I hadn't heard from him in 5 years. Not since he'd had a falling out with my father over something I never fully understood. I typed back, "Thank you, Uncle Robert. That means more than you know." No messages from Mom, from Dad, from Marcus. Nothing. I put my phone on silent and headed to the conference center. The presentation hall was massive. Theater-style seating for about 300 people. A stage with a podium and a huge screen for slides. My stomach turned. Dr. Chen, the woman who'd called me after graduation, found me backstage. Sarah, you're presenting 5th, right after the lunch break. That's a good spot. The judges are refreshed, attentive. I'm terrified, I admitted. She smiled. Good, that means you care. Channel that fear into passion. Show them why you're here. The morning presentations were incredible. A guy from Stanford had developed an AI system for early cancer detection. A woman from Johns Hopkins had created a new method for synthesizing antibiotics. These people were geniuses. What was I doing here? Lunch was served, but I couldn't eat. My mouth was too dry, my stomach too twisted. I went to the bathroom and stared at my reflection. "You belong here," I whispered. "You earned this." But my mother's voice echoed in my head. "Don't get your hopes up. Sarah and Marcus, you always need so much attention. And Jennifer, honestly, some people are just meant to be average." "Shut up," I said out loud. A woman washing her hands looked at me, startled. "Sorry," I muttered. "Talking to myself," she smiled. "We all do that before big moments. You've got this." I walked back to the auditorium. The fourth presenter was finishing up. Something about water purification systems for developing countries. Brilliant. Then Dr. Chen took the stage. "Our next finalist comes to us from State University, where she graduated summa cum laude just 2 weeks ago. Her research focuses on making life-changing medical technology accessible to everyone, regardless of economic status. Please welcome Sarah Mitchell." Applause. I walked onto that stage, my legs somehow carrying me forward even though I felt like I might pass out. The lights were bright. I couldn't see most of the audience, just shapes in the darkness. I reached the podium, placed my notes down, and looked up. And there, in the third row, I saw him. Marcus, my brother Marcus, sitting there with Jennifer beside him. And Mom and Dad, they'd come. My heart leaped. They'd come to support me after all. Then I saw their faces. Marcus was smirking. Jennifer was whispering something to Mom. Dad had his arms crossed, looking skeptical. They weren't here to support me. They were here to watch me fail. The realization hit me like ice water. I gripped the podium, my prepared opening line evaporating from my mind. Dr. Chen looked at me with concern. "Ms. Mitchell, whenever you're ready." The silence stretched. 300 people waiting. My family sitting there, waiting for me to embarrass myself, to prove them right about me. And then something shifted. I thought about sitting on that curb in my graduation gown, watching them drive away. I thought about those Venmo requests, treating my accomplishment like a burden they'd had to endure. I thought about 4 years of working myself to exhaustion while they dismissed everything I did. "My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I'm here to tell you about how we can change millions of lives for less than the cost of a used car." My voice was strong, clear, powerful. I clicked to my first slide. In America, a prosthetic limb costs between $5,000 and $50,000. In developing countries, that's more than most families earn in 5 years. So people go without, children grow up unable to play, adults can't work. Dreams die because of something we have the technology to fix, but not the economic model. I was in it now. The fear was gone, replaced by pure conviction. My research focused on using 3D printing technology and biomimetic design to create functional prosthetic joints that cost less than $200 to produce. Not inferior prosthetics. Not good enough solutions. Fully functional, durable, life-changing devices. I showed my prototypes, demonstrated the range of motion, explained the material science. The audience was silent, but it was an engaged silence. People leaning forward, taking notes. I showed videos of the testing phase. A little girl in the university's testing lab, trying on a prosthetic hand I'd designed. The moment she picked up a crayon and drew her first picture. "That's why I do this work," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "Not for awards, not for recognition, but because every person deserves the chance to live fully, regardless of what they can afford." I presented the cost analysis, the scalability models, the partnership opportunities with existing manufacturers. 15 minutes flew by like 15 seconds. When I finished, I looked up at my family. Marcus wasn't smirking anymore. He looked uncomfortable. Mom was crying, but I couldn't tell if they were proud tears or something else. Dad's arms were still crossed, but his expression had softened. The applause started. Quiet at first, then building. Then someone stood up. Dr. Harrison, the judge I'd met last night. Then another person. And another. A standing ovation. For me. For my work. I walked off that stage in a daze. Backstage, Dr. Chen grabbed my hands. "Sarah, that was extraordinary. The emotional resonance. The technical precision. Just extraordinary." Other finalists congratulated me. Judges introduced themselves asking for my contact information. And then I saw my family approaching. My stomach tightened. Marcus spoke first. That was actually pretty good, Sarah. Pretty good? Jennifer elbowed him. It was amazing. I had no idea you were doing something so important. Mom hugged me, tears streaming. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand what you were doing. I thought it was just school stuff. But this is real. This matters. I stood there, frozen as she held me. This was what I'd wanted. What I'd dreamed of. Their approval. Their pride. Their recognition. So why did it feel so empty? Dad cleared his throat. Your mother called Uncle Robert and he told us where you were. We drove through the night to get here. You came, I said quietly. Of course we came, Mom said. You're our daughter. But I remembered graduation. I remembered that parking lot. I remembered those bills. Marcus put his hand on my shoulder. Look, about that money I asked for. And there it was. About that money, Marcus continued, his voice softer now, almost apologetic. Maybe we can work out a payment plan or something. No rush, no rush. 2 weeks ago it was 30 days or else. Now it was no rush. Because now they'd seen what I could do. Now they thought I might actually win something worth their attention. We should celebrate, Jennifer said brightly. There's a nice restaurant across the street. Our treat, our treat. The irony wasn't lost on me. I can't, I said. There's a networking reception in 20 minutes. It's mandatory for all finalists. Mom's face fell. But we drove all night, Sarah. We came all this way. I didn't ask you to come. The words came out harsher than I intended, but I didn't take them back. Silence. Dad stepped forward. Sarah, I know we haven't always been present, but we're here now. That has to count for something. Does it? I looked at each of them. Where were you 2 weeks ago? Where were you when I graduated top of my class? When I gave the commencement speech? We were there, Marcus protested. You were on your phone. Mom was bored. And then you all billed me $685 for the inconvenience of showing up. Jennifer's face flushed. That's not fair. We had legitimate expenses. Legitimate expenses for attending your sister-in-law's graduation? I couldn't hold it back anymore. Do you understand how insane that is? How cruel. People were starting to stare. Mom grabbed my arm. Sarah, please. Lower your voice. Can we talk about this somewhere private? I pulled away. No, I have a reception to attend. With people who actually respect my work. I walked away, my heels clicking on the marble floor. Mom called after me. Sarah, wait! About the money we asked for, we didn't mean... I kept walking. Behind me, I heard Marcus. Let her go. She's being dramatic. She'll calm down. Dramatic. That word. Always that word. I found the reception hall and grabbed a glass of water, my hands shaking. Dr. Harrison approached. Sarah, that was a phenomenal presentation. I've been doing this for 15 years, and your work is genuinely groundbreaking. Thank you, I managed. Are you all right? You look upset. I forced a smile. Just overwhelmed. Good overwhelmed. He didn't look convinced, but he nodded. Well, the deliberations will take about 2 hours. Winners will be announced at the gala dinner tonight. 7 o'clock. Make sure you're there early. There's a VIP reception for finalists at 6. 2 hours until I knew. 2 hours to find out if my life would change. I spent the reception talking to investors, researchers, company representatives. Everyone wanted to discuss my work. Several offered positions, internships, research partnerships. Even if I didn't win the grant, I'd already won something bigger. Validation. Proof that I was good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. Everything my family had never made me feel. At 4 p.m., I went back to my hotel room to change for the gala. My phone had 23 missed calls, 15 from Mom, 5 from Marcus, 3 from Dad, and 1 from Uncle Robert. I called him back. Sarah, congratulations on that presentation. I watched the live stream online. You were magnificent. You watched? Of course I watched. I've been following your work for years. Your professor, Dr. Patterson. We went to grad school together. She's been sending me updates on your research. I hope that's okay. Tears stung my eyes. You've been following my work? Sarah, you're brilliant. I've always known it. Your father and I don't speak. After our falling out, I didn't want to cause problems for you by reaching out. But I've been watching, always proud. I sat down on the bed, phone pressed to my ear. Why did you and Dad stop talking? Uncle Robert was quiet for a moment. That's a conversation for another day. But Sarah, whatever happens tonight, you've already won. You've proven yourself. Don't let anyone, family included, diminish that. They showed up today. At the presentation. I know. Your mother called me last week asking about the competition. I told her she'd regret it if she didn't go. You told her to come? I told her you were doing something extraordinary and she'd be a fool to miss it. What she does with that information is on her. We talked for a few more minutes. When I hung up, I felt lighter somehow. I put on my gown for the gala. It was emerald green, simple but elegant. Amy had helped me pick it out. Something that says, I'm brilliant and I know it, she'd insisted. I looked at myself in the mirror. For the first time in my life, I looked like someone who belonged in rooms like this. My phone buzzed. Marcus, Sarah, we're still in the city. We got a hotel room. Can we please talk before the dinner? Mom is really upset. I typed and deleted 5 different responses. Finally, I'll see you at the gala if you're attending. Otherwise, I need space. Marcus. We bought tickets, $500 each. We're coming. Of course they did. Now that they thought I might win, suddenly it was worth $500 per ticket. The gala was in the hotel's grand ballroom. I arrived at 6 for the VIP reception. Champagne, hors d'oeuvre, soft music. And everywhere, successful, important people treating me like an equal. Dr. Chen found me. Sarah, there's someone I want you to meet. This is Marcus Chen, my husband and the foundation's co-founder. A different Marcus. Thank God. Marcus Chen shook my hand. Your presentation moved my wife to tears. She called me immediately after. That doesn't happen often. Dr. Chen smiled. It's true. Your passion, your purpose. It reminded me why we started this foundation. To support people like you who want to change the world. Thank you, I said. That means everything. At 7, the doors opened to the main ballroom. It was spectacular. Crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, tables set with gold-rimmed plates and fresh flowers. And there at table 12, I saw them. My family, dressed up. Mom in a cocktail dress I'd never seen. Dad in a suit that actually fit. Marcus and Jennifer looking uncomfortable but determined. They waved when they saw me. I waved back, my stomach churning. My assigned table was table 3, front and center, for finalists and VIP guests. I sat between Dr. Harrison and Lauren from MIT. Dinner was served. Speeches were made, and then, finally, Dr. Chen took the stage. Tonight we announce our top 3 winners. Third place receives $10,000, second place receives $25,000, and first place receives the full $50,000 grant plus mentorship, opportunities and research funding for the next 2 years. My heart was hammering so hard I could barely breathe. In third place, from Johns Hopkins University, Dr. Amanda Rodriguez for her work in antibiotic synthesis. Applause. Amanda went to the stage beaming. In second place, from Stanford University, Kevin Park for his AI-driven cancer detection system. More applause. Kevin looked shocked but thrilled. And now for first place? The room went completely silent. Dr. Chen smiled, drawing out the moment. This year's first-place winner demonstrated not only exceptional technical skill, but a profound understanding of how innovation can serve humanity's most vulnerable populations. Her research has the potential to change millions of lives across the globe. I couldn't breathe. From State University for her groundbreaking work on affordable prosthetic technology, Sarah Mitchell! The room exploded in applause. I sat frozen for 3 full seconds. Lauren grabbed my arm. Sarah, that's you. Go. I stood up, my legs somehow remembering how to work. I walked to that stage in a dream. Dr. Chen handed me a crystal award and an oversized check for $50,000. Cameras flashed. People were standing, clapping. I looked out at the audience and my eyes found my family's table. Mom was crying, clutching Dad's arm. Dad was clapping, actually smiling. Marcus looked stunned, his mouth slightly open. Jennifer was recording everything on her phone. Dr. Chen hugged me. "Say a few words, Sarah." I approached the microphone, holding that check, that physical proof that I was worth something. "I don't have a speech prepared," I started. "I honestly didn't think I'd win." Polite laughter. "But I want to say thank you. Thank you to Dr. Patterson, my professor, who saw potential in me when I didn't see it in myself. Thank you to the Foundation for this incredible opportunity. And thank you to everyone who believes that innovation should serve everyone, not just those who can afford it." I paused, my eyes drifting back to my family. Someone once told me that graduation was just a piece of paper, that achievements like this are just me seeking attention, that I needed to grow up and get a real job. The room was silent, but standing here tonight holding this award, I realized something. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about knowing your worth, even when the people closest to you don't see it. More applause. I left the stage and immediately people surrounded me. Congratulations, business cards, photo requests, interview requests. Dr. Harrison pulled me aside. "Sarah, I work with a medical device company in Boston. We want to license your prosthetic design. This could be big, not just the grant money, but actual commercial production. Are you interested?" "Yes," I said without hesitation. "Absolutely yes. Excellent. We'll be in touch next week." "Congratulations, Sarah. You've earned every bit of this." I finally made my way through the crowd toward my family's table. They all stood up when they saw me coming. Mom reached me first, throwing her arms around me. "Sarah. Oh my God, Sarah. I'm so proud of you. So incredibly proud." I stood stiff in her embrace. Dad hugged me next. "That was something special, sweetheart. Really special." Marcus stepped forward, and for a moment we just looked at each other. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "About everything. About you. About what you were doing." "Sarah, that was—" "You're incredible." Jennifer nodded enthusiastically. "We had no idea, Sarah. We feel terrible about graduation, about everything. Can we start over?" I looked at the four of them. 2 weeks ago, they'd abandoned me in a parking lot and sent me bills. Now they were here, smiling, proud, wanting to celebrate. Because I'd won something valuable. "I need to ask you something," I said. "And I need honest answers." Mom nodded eagerly. "Of course, honey. Anything." "If I hadn't won tonight, if I'd come in 4th or 5th or dead last, would you still be proud of me?" Silence. "Sarah, that's not fair," Marcus started. "Would you?" My voice cut through the ballroom chatter. A few nearby tables turned to look. Mom's eyes filled with tears. "Of course we would. You're our daughter." "Then why weren't you proud 2 weeks ago? Why did you leave my graduation early? Why did you send me bills for attending? Why has every accomplishment of my life been met with criticism or indifference until today?" Dad shifted uncomfortably. "Sarah, we made mistakes. We can admit that. But we're here now. Doesn't that count? You're here because Uncle Robert told you to come. And because you thought I might win money." Marcus's face flushed. "That's not true. We came because we love you." I pulled out my phone and opened my screenshots folder. The one labeled "Remember This." I showed them the Venmo requests from graduation day. All of them. With timestamps. "Mom, you requested $85 for parking 15 minutes after you left. Marcus, you requested $200 for gas before you even got home. Jennifer, $150 for missing work. Dad, $250 for a hotel." I swiped to the next screenshot. Marcus's text about the $5,000 loan. "And this, the money you gave me freshman year. You told me it was a gift. You said, 'Family helps family, no strings attached.'" I remember because I cried. I was so grateful. Marcus looked at Jennifer, then back at me. "I did say that. But things change, Sarah. We have expenses now. We're renovating your kitchen, I know." Jennifer mentioned it. The silence was deafening. People at nearby tables were definitely listening now, trying to pretend they weren't. Mom reached for my hand. "Sarah, please. We made mistakes. Let us make it up to you." I pulled my hand back. "How? How do you make up for a lifetime of making me feel like I'm never enough?" "That's not fair," Dad said. "We provided for you. We paid for things. We showed up when it mattered. You showed up when it was convenient. When it made you look good. When there was something in it for you." Jennifer spoke up, her voice defensive. "Sarah, you're being really harsh right now." We apologized. We admitted we were wrong. "What more do you want?" I looked at her, this woman who'd laughed at me in that parking lot, who'd told me they were doing me a favor by teaching me independence. "I want you to understand what you did. I want you to feel for just one moment what it's like to achieve something incredible and have the people who are supposed to love you treat it like an inconvenience." Mom was crying now. "We understand, we do. Please, Sarah, don't shut us out." A woman approached our table, one of the event photographers. "Excuse me, Ms. Mitchell? Could we get a family photo with you and your award?" Everyone looked at me. Mom wiped her tears, trying to smile. Dad straightened his tie. Marcus and Jennifer moved closer. They all wanted in the photo. In this moment. In this success. The photographer raised her camera, waiting. I looked at my family, at their eager faces, at their sudden pride and interest. And I made a decision. "Actually," I said to the photographer, "could you just take one of me alone first?" The photographer nodded. "Of course." Over here by the floral display, the lighting is perfect. I walked away from my family's table, holding my award and my oversized check. Behind me, I heard Mom whisper urgently to Marcus, "Go talk to her. Fix this." But I kept walking. The photographer positioned me, adjusted the lighting, and took several shots. Me alone with my achievement. My face, my success, my moment. "Beautiful," she said. "These are going to be stunning. Now, did you want that family photo?" I looked back at table 12. They were all watching, waiting. "Not right now," I said. "Thank you, though." I gave her my email and headed toward the bar. I needed water, or maybe something stronger. Dr. Chen intercepted me. "Sarah, there's a journalist from Tech Innovation magazine who wants to interview you. Are you up for it?" "Absolutely." The interview took 20 minutes. Questions about my research, my inspiration, my plans for the grant money. The journalist was impressed, engaged, asking thoughtful questions. For 20 minutes, I wasn't the disappointing daughter or the attention-seeking little sister. I was Sarah Mitchell, award-winning researcher. When I finished, I saw Marcus approaching. He'd been hovering nearby, waiting. "Can we talk?" he asked. "Just you and me?" I wanted to say no, but something in his face looked different. Genuine, maybe. "Fine, 5 minutes." We found a quiet corner away from the crowd. Marcus ran his hand through his hair. "I've been a terrible brother," I waited. "Not just about graduation, about everything. For years. I've been jealous of you, Sarah." "Jealous? Of me?" "You were always the smart one. The one teachers loved. The one with potential. And I was just average. Good at sports, decent grades, but nothing special. And then Jennifer came along and she made comments. Little things about how you always got the attention, always got the praise. So you decided to tear me down?" "I decided to matter more," he said quietly. "By making you matter less. And that's unforgivable. The loan thing, it wasn't even about the money. It was about having power over you. About making you need something from me for once." I felt tears burning. "Do you have any idea how much that hurt? You were my big brother. I looked up to you." "I know." His voice cracked. "And I destroyed that. Sarah, I can't take back what I did. But I can tell you that watching you on that stage tonight, seeing what you've accomplished, I've never been more ashamed of myself." "Ashamed isn't enough, Marcus. Sorry isn't enough. I needed you. For years, I needed you to be on my side, and you weren't." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "You're right, and I don't expect forgiveness. But I want you to know, the $5,000. Forget it, it's gone. You don't owe me anything. You never did." "I was going to pay you anyway," I said. From the grant money, just to be done with it. To be free of you all. Don't, he said. Please keep every penny. Use it for your research, your student loans, your life. You earned it. And Sarah? I'm going to do better. I know I don't deserve another chance, but if you ever want to try, I don't know if I can trust you again. I understand. He pulled out his phone. But I'm deleting those Venmo requests right now. All of them. And I'm sending you something. His phone dinged, then mine, a Venmo notification. Marcus had sent me $680. That's what we charged you for graduation. With interest. I stared at the screen. It's not enough, he continued. Nothing I do will ever be enough. But it's a start. And Sarah? I'm proud of you. I should have said that 2 weeks ago. I should have said it 1,000 times before today. But I'm saying it now. I'm so damn proud of you. He walked away before I could respond. I stood there, phone in hand, not sure what to feel. Anger, relief, sadness, all of it? Mom found me next. Sarah, can we please talk? Mom, I'm exhausted. I know. But please, just hear me out. She looked older suddenly, tired. Your father and I failed you. Not just at graduation. For years. We got so caught up in Marcus and his life, his marriage, his career, his house, that we forgot to see you. Really see you? Why? The word came out broken. Why wasn't I enough? Oh, baby. She grabbed my hands. You were always enough. You were too much, actually. Too smart, too driven, too independent. We didn't know how to handle you. Marcus was easy, predictable, straightforward. But you were always 10 steps ahead, already planning your next move. We felt useless. So you abandoned me? We thought you didn't need us. You were so capable, so self-sufficient. We thought we'd just get in your way. I was self-sufficient because I had to be. Because every time I asked for help, for support, for just someone to tell me I was doing okay, you weren't there. Mom was sobbing now. I know, God, Sarah, I know. And I can't fix it. I can't go back and be the mother you deserved. But I can try to be better now, if you'll let me. I looked at this woman who'd given birth to me, raised me, and somehow still didn't know me at all. I don't know if I can let you in again, Mom. You've hurt me too many times. I understand. But Sarah, whether you forgive me or not, I need you to know something. I watched that video of you on stage, and I saw it. Saw what? Your purpose. Your calling. You're going to change the world, baby. And I'm sorry I was too blind to see it sooner. I'm sorry I wasn't there cheering you on every step of the way. But I see it now. And whether you want me in your life or not, I'll be cheering. Always. She kissed my forehead and walked away. I found the nearest chair and sat down, completely overwhelmed. My phone buzzed. Amy, did you win? You're killing me. Call me. I smiled through my tears and called her. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. I knew it. I knew you'd win. Tell me everything. I told her. The presentation, the award, my family showing up, the confrontations. Do you want me to drive to New York and fight them? Amy asked seriously. I laughed. No, but thank you for the offer. What are you going to do? I don't know. They apologized. Marcus paid me back the graduation money plus the loan forgiveness. Mom cried and admitted they failed me. But Amy, is that enough? Do I just forgive them because they're sorry? That's not for me to decide, Amy said gently. But I'll tell you this, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. About whether holding on to this anger serves you or hurts you. You don't have to decide tonight. She was right. Go celebrate, Amy continued. You just won $50,000 in a prestigious award. Worry about family drama tomorrow. We talked for a few more minutes, then I hung up. The gala was winding down. People were leaving, saying goodbyes. Dr. Harrison found me one last time. Sarah, before you leave, I have something for you. He handed me an envelope. What's this? Open it. Inside was a letter. An official job offer from his company. Research position. $95,000 starting salary. Full benefits. Relocation assistance to Boston. I looked up at him, shocked. We want you on our team, he said. Not in 5 years. Now. We want to bring your prosthetic design to market, and we want you leading the project. What do you say? My hands were shaking. I say yes. Absolutely yes, he grinned. Excellent. Welcome to the team, Dr. Mitchell. Oh, wait, you're not a doctor yet. But you will be. We'll sponsor your PhD? I couldn't speak, couldn't process. Everything was changing so fast. He shook my hand. Congratulations, Sarah, on everything. You've earned it all. After he left, I stood in that ballroom holding my award, my check, and my job offer. 6 hours ago, I was terrified of failing. Now I had more than I'd ever dreamed possible. But something was still missing. I looked across the room at my family, gathered by the exit, clearly waiting for me. And I realized what I had to do. I walked toward them slowly, deliberately. They all turned when they saw me coming, hope and anxiety written across their faces. Sarah, Dad started. We're heading back to the hotel. We were hoping maybe we could all have breakfast tomorrow. Before we drive home? I looked at each of them. Mom, her eyes still red from crying. Dad, uncomfortable but trying. Marcus, guilty and genuinely remorseful. Jennifer, quieter than I'd ever seen her. I need to say something, I started. And I need you all to just listen. They nodded. What you did to me, at graduation over the years, it broke something in me. Something that's going to take a long time to heal, if it ever fully does. You made me feel invisible, worthless, like my achievements only mattered if they benefited you somehow. Mom opened her mouth, but I held up my hand. Please, let me finish. She nodded, tears spilling over. Tonight, you all showed up. You apologized. You admitted you were wrong. And I want to believe you. I really do. But I can't just forget. I can't pretend the hurt doesn't exist because you finally decided I was worth celebrating. We understand, Marcus said quietly. I'm not finished. My voice cut through the space between us. Here's what's going to happen. I'm moving to Boston. I just accepted a research position with a major medical device company. I'm starting a new life, and I need space to figure out who I am without constantly seeking your approval or bracing for your criticism. Dad's face fell. You're cutting us out? No, I'm setting boundaries. I'll answer calls sometimes. I'll come to holidays, maybe. But I'm not going to be the daughter who drops everything to prove she's worthy of your love anymore. I'm worthy. With or without your validation. Jennifer stepped forward. Sarah, that's fair. That's more than fair. We'll respect whatever boundaries you need. I turned to Marcus specifically. You asked if we could start over. We can't. We can't erase what happened. But maybe eventually we can start something new. Something honest. But that takes time. And effort. Real effort. Not just showing up when it's convenient. I'll do the work, he said. Whatever it takes. We all will, Mom added desperately. Sarah, please. Don't give up on us completely. I took a deep breath. I'm not giving up on you. I'm choosing myself. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing me. And if you really love me, you'll understand why I need to do that. Silence hung between us. Then Dad spoke, his voice rough with emotion. You're right. About all of it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to earn our love. You never did. We were just too stupid and selfish to show you that. Something in his voice, in the rawness of his admission, cracked my armor just a little. Thank you for saying that, I said softly. Mom hugged me then, and this time I hugged her back. Not fully, not without reservation, but it was something. Breakfast tomorrow? She asked hopefully. Just breakfast. No pressure. No expectations, just us trying. I hesitated, then nodded. Okay, breakfast. 9 a.m. in the hotel restaurant. Relief washed over her face. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for giving us a chance. They left together, and I stood alone in the emptying ballroom. A waiter approached. Miss, can I get you anything? Champagne? Water? Champagne, I said. Definitely champagne. He brought me a glass, and I stood there, sipping it slowly, looking at my reflection in one of the massive mirrors lining the walls. Sarah Mitchell, award winner, researcher, future PhD candidate, someone with a $95,000 job waiting in Boston, someone who'd finally learned to choose herself. My phone buzzed. Uncle Robert. I saw the announcement online. Congratulations. So proud of you, kiddo. Call me when you can. I called him immediately. Sarah, the winner! How does it feel? Surreal, overwhelming, amazing, terrifying. He laughed warmly. That sounds about right. Your parents called me. Told me about the conversation you all had. They did? Your mom was crying. Said you were right about everything. Said she didn't know if you'd ever forgive them, but she was going to try to be better. Do you think people can really change? I asked. Or do they just say what you want here? Uncle Robert was quiet for a moment. Honestly, some people can't change. They're too stuck in their patterns, too invested in their version of reality. But some people can. When they finally see the damage they've caused, when they're confronted with the truth, some people wake up. The question is, are your parents, your brother, are they the type who wake up? Or the type who hit snooze and go back to sleep? I don't know yet. That's okay. You don't have to know tonight. Give them time to prove it. Give yourself time to heal. And Sarah, no matter what happens with them, you're going to be fine. Better than fine. You're going to be extraordinary. Thank you, Uncle Robert, for everything, for believing in me even when you couldn't be there. Always, kiddo. Always. We talked for a while longer before saying goodnight. I finished my champagne and headed to the elevators. The doors opened and Jennifer was inside, alone. Sarah, she said, surprised. I was just coming to find you. We rode up together in awkward silence. Then Jennifer spoke. I owe you an apology. A real one, not the surface-level stuff from downstairs. I waited. I've been threatened by you since the day Marcus and I started dating. You're smart, accomplished, driven. Everything I'm not. And instead of being happy that Marcus had such an amazing sister, I felt less than. So I encouraged him to criticize you, to diminish you. That's incredibly messed up, Jennifer. I know. She was crying now. I know, and I'm ashamed. I'm going to work on myself. But Sarah, I need you to know it was never about you. You were never the problem. I was. The elevator reached my floor. I stepped out, then turned back. Jennifer, your insecurities aren't my responsibility. They never were. And I'm not going to shrink myself to make you comfortable anymore. I'm not asking you to, she said quickly. I'm just asking for a chance. To do better. Then do it. Not for me. For yourself. The elevator doors closed, and I walked to my room, finally alone with my triumph. I woke up at 7 a.m. to my phone exploding with notifications. My Instagram post had gone viral overnight. 15,000 likes, hundreds of comments, shares from people I'd never met. Someone had screenshotted my post and put it on Twitter with the caption, "This is what winning looks like." Not just the award, but choosing yourself. 50,000 retweets. I scrolled through the comments, amazed. This made me cry. So proud of you, and I don't even know you. Your family is lucky you're even giving them a chance. I wouldn't. Queen energy. This is everything. And then I saw one comment that made my blood run cold. From Jennifer's Instagram account. So proud of my sister-in-law. We always knew she'd do amazing things. My hands started shaking. Always knew? Always knew? I screenshotted it immediately and sent it to Amy. She responded in seconds. Are you kidding me right now? The audacity. The absolute audacity. I stared at Jennifer's comment, feeling that familiar rage building in my chest. But then I stopped myself. This was exactly what she wanted. Attention. Association with my success. A way to look good publicly while privately having torn me down for years. I could call her out. Expose her. Screenshot all those old texts where she'd mocked my ambitions. Or I could do something better. I could simply not respond. Not give her the satisfaction. Not let her hijack my moment. I deleted Instagram from my phone entirely, just for today. This day was mine. At 8:45 a.m. I got dressed. Simple jeans, a nice blouse. Casual but put together. I walked down to the hotel restaurant at exactly 9 a.m. My family was already there, sitting at a table by the window. They'd ordered coffee but hadn't touched the menus. Waiting for me. Good morning, I said, sitting down. Good morning, sweetheart, Mom said softly. Did you sleep well? I did, actually. The waiter came over and we all ordered. Pancakes for Mom, omelet for Dad, French toast for Marcus, eggs Benedict for Jennifer. I ordered the same thing I always ordered, avocado toast with a side of fruit. You always get that, Marcus said, almost smiling. Even when we were kids and we'd go to brunch. Always avocado toast? Some things don't change, I said. Awkward silence. Dad cleared his throat. Sarah, we've been talking. All night, actually. About everything you said. About what we need to do differently. Okay, I said carefully. Mom jumped in. We want to go to family therapy, all of us. To work through this properly, with professional help. I hadn't expected that. You want to go to therapy? I couldn't hide my surprise. Yes, Dad said firmly. We can't fix this on our own. We've proven that. We need help learning how to be better. How to communicate, how to actually be a family. Marcus nodded. I already found a therapist in our area who specializes in family dynamics. Her name is Dr. Linda Chen. She has great reviews. I can send you her information. I looked at them, genuinely shocked. You actually researched therapists? Last night, Marcus said. After we got back to the hotel, we stayed up until 3 a.m. talking. Really talking. About how badly we've screwed up. About how close we came to losing you forever. Jennifer spoke quietly. Sarah, I know you saw my Instagram comment. I deleted it. It was performative and gross, and I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to not make everything about me. At least you're aware of it, I said. The food arrived, and we ate in relative silence for a few minutes. Then Mom said, Tell us about Boston. About the job. So I did. I told them about Dr. Harrison's company. About the prosthetic project. About the PhD sponsorship. And for the first time in my life, they actually listened. They asked questions. Real questions. About the research, the timeline, the technology. Dad asked about the business model. How do you plan to keep costs low while maintaining quality? I explained the manufacturing process, the material choices, the distribution strategy. He was genuinely interested, taking notes on his phone. This could be huge, Sarah, he said. Not just the humanitarian aspect, but commercially. You could be looking at a multi-million-dollar company in 5 years. That's not why I'm doing it, I said. I know, but it's still impressive. You've thought of everything. Marcus asked about Boston. Do you have a place to live yet? Not yet. The company is helping with relocation. I'm going up next week to apartment hunt. I have a friend in Boston, he said. Works in real estate. I can connect you if you want. No pressure, just if you want help. I studied his face. Was this real? Or another performance? That would actually be helpful, I said carefully. Thank you. Jennifer was quiet through most of breakfast, but toward the end she spoke up. Sarah, I know I don't deserve to ask this, but when you're settled in Boston, could I come visit? Just for a day. I'd like to see what you're working on. Learn about it properly. Everyone looked at her surprised. Why? I asked bluntly. Because I want to understand what you do. Really understand. Not just nod along pretending I get it. I want to see why this matters to you so much. And maybe I want to find something that matters to me that much too. Something in her voice was different. Vulnerable. Real. Maybe, I said. Let's see how things go. She nodded, looking relieved just to have maybe. We finished breakfast, and Dad insisted on paying. This one's on me, he said. No Venmo requests. No strings. Just a father buying his daughter breakfast after her big win. Thank you, Dad. We walked out to the parking lot together. Their car was parked near the entrance. This was it. The goodbye. Mom hugged me first, holding on longer than usual. I love you, Sarah. I'm sorry it took me so long to show it properly. But I do. I always have. I love you too, Mom. Dad hugged me next. Make us proud up there in Boston. Not that you need to, you already have. But keep being amazing. Marcus was last. I meant everything I said last night. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be the brother you deserved all along. I hope so, I said honestly. Jennifer gave me an awkward wave. Good luck, Sarah, with everything. I watched them drive away, their car disappearing into New York traffic. And I felt lighter somehow. Not healed, not fixed, but lighter. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Ms. Mitchell, this is Patricia Rodriguez from Good Morning America. We'd love to have you on the show next week to talk about your award-winning research. Would you be interested? I stood in that parking lot, phone pressed to my ear, and smiled. Yes, I said. I'd love to. Everything was changing. And this time I was ready. 3 months later, I was standing in my Boston apartment, boxes finally unpacked, looking out at the city skyline. My phone rang. Mom. We talked every Sunday now. Sometimes it was awkward. Sometimes it was good. But we were trying. Hi, Mom. Sarah. I just watched your Good Morning America interview online. You were wonderful. So articulate, so passionate. I cried watching it. Thanks, Mom. That means a lot. Your father wants to talk to you. Dad got on the line. Sarah, I forwarded your interview to some colleagues. 3 of them want to invest in your project. Are you looking for investors? Actually, yes. Dr. Harrison and I are planning a funding round in January. Send me the information. I'll connect you. We talked business for 10 minutes. Real, substantive conversation. He was actually helping. When we hung up, I felt something unexpected. Gratitude. They weren't perfect. They were still learning. But they were showing up. Consistently. That had to count for something. My doorbell rang. I opened it to find Marcus standing there, holding a potted plant. Surprise, he said. I know I said I'd visit next month, but I had a business meeting in Boston, so I thought I'd stop by. Is this weird? This is weird. I should have called first, I laughed. It's okay. Come in. He stepped inside, looking around. Sarah, this place is amazing. You have a view of the Charles River. The company paid for relocation. I got lucky with the timing. He set the plant down on my kitchen counter. Housewarming gift. It's a succulent. Hard to kill. I figured with your schedule, it's perfect. Thank you. We sat on my couch and he pulled out his phone. I wanted to show you something. Jennifer and I started therapy, individual and couples. This is our therapist. He showed me a photo of a kind-looking woman in her 50s. That's great, Marcus, really. It's hard, he admitted. Facing the things I've done, the person I've been. But I'm doing it, because I don't want to be that guy anymore. The one who tears people down to feel big? I'm proud of you, I said. His eyes got wet. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that. We talked for 2 hours, about his marriage, his struggles, his progress, about my work, my research, the exciting developments with the prosthetic project. When he left, he hugged me at the door. Same time next month, I can make it a regular thing. Monthly Boston trips. Catch up, grab dinner, be actual siblings. I'd like that, I said. And I meant it. After he left, I made tea and sat by the window. My laptop dinged. Email from Dr. Harrison. Sarah, the prototype testing results are in. 90% success rate. This is incredible. We're ready to move to production phase. Congratulations. You're about to change the world. I stared at the email, tears streaming down my face. A year ago, I was sitting on a curb in a graduation gown, feeling worthless and alone. Now I was here. Boston. Dream job. Groundbreaking research. Family that was actually trying. A future so bright it scared me. My phone buzzed. Amy. Netflix and phone call tonight? I miss your face. Me. Absolutely. 8 p.m.? Amy. Perfect. Also, I'm visiting next weekend. Already booked my flight. Hope you have a couch. Me. I have a guest room, you idiot. Can't wait? Another text. Uncle Robert. Dinner this weekend? There's someone I want you to meet. A colleague who's doing fascinating work in biomedical engineering. Think you two would hit it off professionally. Maybe personally, too. He's single. Just saying. I laughed out loud. Uncle Robert, the matchmaker. Me. Dinner sounds great. No promises on the personal front. Uncle Robert. That's my girl. Saturday at 7. I'll text you the address. I looked around my apartment. My space, my life. Built by my own hands, my own mind, my own determination, the $50,000 grant was half gone, invested in research materials, equipment, and paying off a chunk of my student loans. The rest was carefully saved. My salary covered my life comfortably. No more 3 jobs. No more all-nighters fueled by desperation and ramen. I was doing what I loved, making a difference, and slowly, carefully, rebuilding relationships with people who'd hurt me but were genuinely trying to change. Was it perfect? No. Did I still have moments where I remembered that parking lot? Those Venmo requests? That feeling of being utterly alone? Yes. But I also had this apartment, this career, this life I'd built from nothing. My phone rang one more time. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. Hello? Ms. Mitchell? This is Karen from the Nobel Foundation. This is a very preliminary call, but your research has been nominated for consideration in the medical innovation category. We wanted to inform you that you're on our watch list for the next 3 years. No promises, but we're watching your work closely. I sat down, my legs giving out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, Ms. Mitchell. The world needs more people like you. When she hung up, I just sat there, phone in my lap, staring at nothing. Nobel Foundation watch list. Me. Sarah Mitchell, the girl who was told she needed too much attention, who was treated like a burden, who was billed for her own graduation. I pulled out my phone and opened my photos. Found the selfie I'd taken that night at the gala. Exhausted, messy, but triumphant. Then I scrolled back further. To the photo Amy had taken of me on graduation day, before the ceremony. Smiling, hopeful, believing my family would celebrate with me. 2 different Sarahs, one who needed their approval, one who'd learned she didn't. I opened a new note on my phone and started typing, "Dear Sarah of 1 year ago, I know you're hurting right now. I know you feel invisible and worthless and alone. I know you're sitting in that parking lot wondering if you'll ever be enough for them. Here's what I need you to know. You already are enough. You always were. They couldn't see it, but that doesn't make it less true. In 1 year, you'll be in Boston. You'll have your dream job. Your research will be changing lives. Your family will be trying to make amends. And you'll be happy. Really genuinely happy. Not because they finally validated you, but because you validated yourself. So stand up. Wipe your tears. And keep going. The best is yet to come. Love, future Sarah." I saved the note and put my phone down. Outside my window, Boston was alive with lights and possibility. I'd won so much more than $50,000 and an award. I'd won myself back. And that was worth everything. I raised my tea mug to my reflection in the window. "Here's to you, Sarah Mitchell," I whispered. "You did it. Against all odds, despite everything, you actually did it." My reflection smiled back, and for the first time in my life, I truly believed I deserved every bit of success I'd earned. The girl who was ignored at graduation had become the woman the world was starting to notice. And I was just getting started.